What's up guys? So Battlerite Royale has been free to play for about a week now, and I've decided to try and help out our new players. So I've put together 5 tips that I think will help you improve at the game. Hope you guys enjoy. So let's get into it. Okay, so first you need to find yourself a main. Choose one character that you want to be good at and that you find interesting, and focus on learning that one character. This will allow you to learn the basics of the game much faster, because after a few games, you will stop thinking about your keyboard and your character will just become an extension of yourself. At first you have to be patient and read your spells to understand the interaction between them. You will learn the game much faster if you only play one character at a time. You can actually learn the meta and how the game is supposed to be played instead of getting mixed up in your keybinds. Check out guides on this character, read about him. You can find information on Reddit, on YouTube. The information is there. There is literally 1,000 guides out there. You will eventually find out his strength, his weaknesses, and once you get more confident, you may want to throw in a few combos or more advanced techniques. Keep in mind, you have to find a character that you enjoy. Okay, don't get caught up in tier lists. You can win with every single champion. Tip number 2, you need to fight. Don't run. Just throw yourself in bad situations, get out there and go down swinging. Doesn't matter what happens. It's good practice. It's hard to learn the game if you're not fighting and you're constantly avoiding combat. It will be very difficult to win late game situations if you're not confident in your abilities to eliminate an opponent. Now, you may be able to survive a long time and reach the end game, but if you're running and hiding, you're not actually improving your skill as a player, which will help you a lot more in the long term. We're not going for a lucky win, okay? You want to get to a point where you're expecting to win a good percentage of your games, and if you plan to win, you must be able to fight and defend yourself. If you think that you're lacking combat experience and losing most of the fights, I suggest that you jump into Battlerite Arena mode for a bit. This will give you the opportunity to fight constantly without having to worry about looting and walking around for extended periods of times. Get used to the fighting, jump back into Royale, and I can assure you that you will have improved. This leads right into my third tip. Know your enemies. There is no random element in this game. Every single spell and every single attack can be dodged, but it is very difficult to do so if you don't know what's coming at you. You must know what to avoid, or on the opposite side, when you can charge in to punish because your opponent has wasted their defensive abilities. This comes with time and experience. But you can speed up the process by going into practice mode and try using the champions you're not familiar with or that give you the most trouble, and get some understanding of what they do. Now, what's going to happen is that when you jump back in the actual game, you will have an easier time fighting them off. The worst thing that can happen is you end up in a 1v1 situation against a champion that you know nothing about. There is currently 28 champions in the game. It's not too bad, okay? It's not too many, considering that League of Legends, as an example, has 143. So get out there and learn. Tip number 4, items, spells, and consumables. In Battlerite Royale, the strength of your character and your chances to win are directly linked to your champion's level. You gain levels by improving the quality of your spells and of your items. Getting to the highest level as fast as possible is extremely important in order to close out games, as you gain access to more powerful abilities and your overall stats are increased. It should always be your number one priority, because if you fall behind, the chances of you winning that game drop significantly. My go-to items are usually the Ravager, the Breastplate of Vitality, the Boots of Speed, and the Reaper's Edge. Just keep in mind that you won't always have access to these items, so you must be flexible and be able to adapt to the current state of the game. As an example, in this clip, you can see that I'm using a riding saddle and I notice a Reaper's Edge on the ground. So I take the decision to make the switch, because being in a 1v1 situation, the usefulness of the saddle is greatly reduced because we won't be running in circles on our mounts. We will be on the ground, walking, and fighting. So don't get me wrong, the riding saddle is a good early to mid-game item, as it gives you a great amount of mobility and the ability to chase down kills or to escape, but it is not as useful as a Reaper's Edge in a 1v1 fight. I suggest that you stay away from the sheep medallion. You should focus on using items that will actually help you win fights, not just delay your death. As for the consumables, I will say that they're all pretty good, except that people forget to use them. There is always a good consumable for every single situation. Just make sure to use them to your advantage. A sentry turret might be the key to securing a win in the final circle. A warp stone can help you escape or finish an enemy that keeps running away. A good rocket booster can be the perfect way to engage a fight and give you an early advantage. A stealth potion will just flat out save your life. So remember to use your consumables. Fifth and final tip, you need to have a plan. This means that as soon as you load in the game, you already know what your starting spells will be. I always suggest to take a mobility spell first, also known as spacebar. Your second spell should either be focused on damage for an aggressive start, or be a healing spell for a more defensive start. And then you have to make a decision. Will you take a healing potion or the rocks? That is up to you. But I believe that the HP potion is always a safer play. Next, you must have an idea of what kind of drop you want. Are you going for maximum kills? Or are you the type of player to play it slowly and farm chests? Both playstyles are good and can lead to wins. Personally, I like to play aggressive and go for early kills. This allows me to have a strong start and snowball into the mid to late game. Now, as soon as you have landed, getting access to all your abilities should be your #1 priority. Having access to all the tools that your character can offer is a massive advantage. Then your next goal after surviving the early skirmishes should be to find a point of interest on the map, such as a vendor or an event, and make your way there. You do not want to be running around doing nothing. You're wasting precious time. So what are you missing? Items, spells, consumables? Go towards that. You always want to have a progression in level. So open your map, find out the fastest way to navigate to that point of interest and go. Don't forget to use the jump pads or the launchers. They will be very useful to get to your destination faster. You must spend your gold as fast as possible. Dying with 900 gold in your pocket is a bad play, okay? Use that gold to your advantage, otherwise you're wasting potential power and limiting your ability to win games. Now that you have all these tips in mind, all you have to do is be aware of your surroundings and don't get surrounded like this guy, and then you'll have all the tools to close out the game, be clutch. So good luck out there, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.